Good to see you all today. Today we are continuing our ongoing series of campus conversations, trying to keep Bulldog Nation connected even while we all have to stay at home. And our focus today is on some recently graduated ROTC seniors who will be receiving their officer commissions very, very soon. In fact, tomorrow. And we've got three of those folks with us today. We've got Second Lieutenant Larri Robinson, Second Lieutenant Jeremiah Hansen, and Second Lieutenant Timothy KNUUTILA. So welcome to all three of you, and we are also joined by Captain Michael Meissner, who heads up our ROTC program here at Gardner-Webb. And so first off, to the three cadets and soon-to-be officers, I just want to congratulate you on behalf of all of us at the university. Congratulate you on your hard work and everything that you've done in the classroom to graduate, and also your dedication to get through the ROTC program. And we're grateful and appreciative of your future leadership and all the service that you're going to give to our country. So we're just going to have a little informal conversation here, and I want to start with Captain Meissner. Tell us, if you would, sir, a little bit about ROTC in general and what the program looks like here at Gardner-Webb.
ROTC in general is for any student that's looking at going into the military, wants to go in the military, even wants to know a little bit about the military. It's offered freshman year through senior year, so a lot of freshmen that come in, they're seen on if they want to experience the military experience. It's kind of just teaching them the very basics. Then every year we get a little bit more in depth on military knowledge and leadership, and helps college-age students and those that are returning from college that want to serve an opportunity to see if they want to serve in the military and gain additional knowledge on top of what they're already receiving at the university in their major. A lot of people think initially ROTC, if I do that in the college, then I have to go active duty Army or when I get out. But actually two of the second lieutenants that are just going to be commissioned, one is actually going in the Guard, which is doing the 1 week in a month, 2 weeks a year in North Carolina. And the other one is going in the Reserve, which is also 1 week in a month, 2 weeks a year. And then we have another one that's going active duty. So you don't have to go active duty if you do ROTC. It's really by the time you're a junior that you really have to make the commitment, like, yes, this is what I want to do. I want to go in the military. So if you're making that commitment, there's potential scholarship opportunities and other opportunities as well. The good thing about Gardner-Webb is if you decide to take a contract and get a scholarship, Gardner-Webb will actually pay your room and board. Not all universities do that. And then also the students get a stipend and some other additional book money as well. So it's going to give them real life experience. I've heard a lot of good comments about the students that are in the ROTC program, how disciplined they are, how they're willing to step up and help out. So it brings that next level into the experience and preparing them for life after college.
What's the size of our program, and tell us a little bit about our affiliation with UNC Charlotte and the 49er Battalion.
Our program was started in the early 2000s, but the Charlotte ROTC program, which is the 49er Battalion, there's us, Davison, Winthrop, and a few other schools, but those are the main ones within those. And then usually we do joint training with them. So our program initially, when I first got here 4 years ago, we had about 5 cadets, and now we're roughly at about 20 cadets.
Pretty good growth.
Mm-hmm.
So let me pivot to your three soon-to-be commissioned officers here. Some folks might see this as boot camp, but it's really not boot camp, is it? It's more leadership development. It's a lot of mentorship. What would you tell folks who are thinking about this, and what can future ROTC members at Gardner-Webb expect to learn and experience?
I think one of the main things that's advantageous about ROTC is you have the choice to go active duty, Guard, reserves. I think that's really nice because for me, I know I didn't know what I wanted to do up until like the last minute. I kind of decided I wanted to go on a different path than just active duty. So I think the kind of the freedom that you have to choose in ROTC has been one of the best parts about it for me.
I was actually prior service, and this is kind of one of those things where it's completely different from being an enlisted soldier. We're writing op orders and we're rehearsing them and everything, and we're running missions when we go on labs. What you're learning in your classes, what you're learning even in your regular day classes as a college student. As far more advanced than what you're going to learn as just an enlisted soldier. So it's a completely different opportunity, and you do get a lot more out of it, I would say.
I'm the one going active duty, and I'm also a nurse. As far as like what ROTC brings to the picture, I really saw the connection once I had graduated from my ADM program and was in the RN to BSN program. A lot of the stuff that they were talking about already, because we had done that for 4 years in ROTC, and I felt a lot more comfortable taking charge, even in the hospital. Being in ROTC as a nurse means that you're streamlined into the nurse corps. So I'm guaranteed to be a nurse in the Army.
So you chose the nursing path. What are there some other majors that tend to congregate towards ROTC? Tim and Jeremiah, what did you major in at Gardner-Webb?
We actually both majored in criminal justice administration, sir. And I would say that's a really popular major. That's actually what I'm wanting to do on the civilian side is law enforcement. And there's a lot of the people that we're commissioning with through the 49er Battalion that are also criminal justice majors.
What first made each of you interested in the ROTC program at Gardner-Webb?
I always wanted to be an officer in the United States Army, whether it be reserves, guard, or active duty. My parents actually asked me, they said, how about Gardner-Webb? Because I have a lot of friends that have gone here. And so I looked into it, and when I found out they had an ROTC program, that's kind of what turned it on for me. I mean, basically, once that happened, I was like, okay, that's a place that I should be able to go to. Once I got here, I met Captain Meissner, and we had a conversation with my dad as well and my recruiter all at the same time, actually, and figured out that it was the right option. And I ended up doing the whole thing and ended up contracting as a cadet in the Army National Guard through the Minuteman Scholarship.
Well, please tell your parents we appreciate them turning you on to Gardner-Webb. Great.
Oh, will do, sir.
Robinson.
So the reason that I ended up at Gardner-Webb is I tell everybody that it's a total God story. I did not want to come to Gardner-Webb, and I will openly admit that. I came down to tour Gardner-Webb as an excuse to spend the day with my mother. I just wanted to spend time with my mom. And we came down, and I'm not sure if it was an accepted student day or what was going on in the bottom of Tucker that day, but there were a bunch of people down there. There was some food down there, and food was the way to my heart. So, they fed me. And I met 3 other former students now, but students at the time, who took time out of their day and showed me the campus and took me to a dorm room and showed me her dorm room. And I had just met this girl, and I was not social in high school. And I thought that this was insanely crazy, and these people were super nice. So it wasn't then that I made that decision, but I started praying about it, and I tell people now that it's a total God thing. I ended up at Gardner-Webb. It also helped that the nursing school will accept students as freshmen into the nursing program, which if you're a nurse, you understand how big of a deal that is. You don't have to try to get into nursing school after already being in college for a little bit. I was a 3-sport athlete, used to insanely busy schedules, and I wasn't happy with what I was doing, just sitting in my dorm room all the time. So at the time I sat down with Captain Meissner and now First Lieutenant Wavero, and we had a discussion about, where does this go from here? And he convinced me to come work out with them. The only thing that you need to know about Gardner-Webb ROTC is that you're going to be in shape, because they kicked my butt. And Captain Meissner continued to do that for 3 more years. But I ended up loving it. I loved the people. I felt like I had found my family at Gardner-Webb, and I decided to stick around and got a contract.
Reflect a little bit, each of you, if you would, on your captain here. You just talked about him kicking your butt for a while. Is ROTC something that's really difficult in year 1 and gets easier, or does it get progressively more difficult as you go along?
I'd say it's more the second one.
I mean, I would say that it's just different each year. I think every year has its own set of challenges that are unique to that year. Have a different job every year. Maybe not so much freshman and sophomore year, but definitely junior and senior years, you're in a leadership role.
In ROTC, just like a soldier would go to boot camp, we go to our entry-level training after our junior year. So your first 3 years, you're really preparing to go to that training. We call that advanced camp, and that's in Kentucky. It's 5 weeks long. and a lot of it is spent in the woods. But so you really spend 3 years trying to get to the point where you feel comfortable and you're ready to go to that training. And then once you get back and you're a senior, you're really focusing then on becoming a second lieutenant and the duties and the things that you need to know to really succeed as an officer. So then they flip that around and you're now leading those freshmen, sophomores, and juniors trying to get ready for the next job. So it's pretty cool.
You identify one single skill that you're leaving with that maybe you don't think you had when you started this process 4 years ago?
Be the confidence to lead. That's something that I never would have had coming in. I feel, uncertain sometimes still, obviously we all are, but very, way more confident than I was when I came into college about leadership in general. I hope that I can take that into the military and also my career in law enforcement, hopefully as well. So
Definitely organization has definitely improved a lot. It's not where I still would like it to be, but I've definitely improved it a lot over my time. I think that'll definitely help when I get to that level in my own unit and talking with my new soldiers and everything. Just knowing where everything's at is very important.
I think that before college, before this ROTC experience, I would not have gone up to a complete stranger on the street and said hello. Now I can wave to somebody, that's a couple blocks over. But I also feel comfortable starting a conversation if I feel like, hey, I need to talk to this person, or I've never met this person, but I know that this person is going to be an important figure in my life and is going to be around for a while. I don't have any reservations going up to somebody and at least introducing myself and putting myself out there.
Sounds like a lot of personal and professional growth for all three of you. Let me ask you this. Anybody willing to admit that during the 4 years in this program that there was a moment when you said, I'm going to walk away, can't do it, not up
Yes.
for it? And, okay, I see some recognition here. And if so, what helped you overcome that temptation to walk away?
I was already at camp when I wanted to quit. So.
yeah, I was going to say, the moment when I wanted to quit came after I had the ability to without losing a bunch of money. So it's not an option anymore.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But obviously I knew at the end, the reward was going to be definitely worth it.
I think we all kind of wanted to quit at some point in camp. I knew that the reward was there at the end of the tunnel. So
good answers. All right, Captain Meissner, we've got a commissioning ceremony coming up very soon. For those who are not familiar with the military, walk us through a typical commissioning ceremony. What happens at that event?
What it's doing is it's taking these cadets that were cadets throughout their schooling, and sometimes there's other commissioning ceremonies that aren't in ROTC because people can get commissioned going through like OCS and other avenues. But typically what happens is they graduate, they get their degree, and this is making their next step as they officially become second lieutenants in the United States Army, whether it's active duty, guard, or reserve. They will, during the commissioning ceremony, they will come up, they will say the oath of office after the oath of office. Then they have, traditionally speaking, we'd be in dress uniform, and then they would have a family member or another individual put on their rank for them on their shoulders. And then after that happens with all of them, usually then they end up doing a first salute, which is you have a silver dollar, and you have an enlisted individual that you may have known, like when I did mine, on prior service, I was prior enlisted. I had two of the guys I went to Iraq with come to my commissioning ceremony. And so they saluted me, I saluted them back, and then with the handshake, you gave them the silver dollars. So I had to give away 2 silver dollars versus just typically 1. When I was a caution, I was like, oh, that's a lot of money. But, so that's typically what happens during the commissioning ceremony. And then afterwards, like a mini celebration, just refreshments and stuff like that, congratulating them and allowing them a chance to talk about their experiences. But this year is a little bit different because of the situation that we're in.
Well, it sounds like a big event. I hope it goes smoothly for all of you tomorrow. Captain, we appreciate your leadership and all that you've done to train these 3 individuals and all that you do to train everybody here at Gardner-Webb. And to the three of you, thank you for your service, and thank you for all that you're going to do moving ahead. Thank you for your commitment to your country, and thank you for representing Gardner-Webb so well. We wish you the best of luck. Godspeed. Take good care, and we hope to see you soon. Thanks all.